I'm not gonna waste your time, man. Let's get into this. Red Lobster has a bunch of new menu items. Now, this has come over the course of maybe 6 months or so, but there was a thing back in the summer of 2024 saying they were gonna go out of business. And since then, people like me flocked to the place and they ended up, I guess, saving the business and hiring a new CEO. I've seen a bunch of videos from this guy on TikTok saying they fixed a lot of the menu items and that they're going to save Red Lobster. I've been meaning to do this, but we finally got to it in the beginning of 2025. I went to Red Lobster to see if they made any fixes to their menu and to try their new menu items. Now, please understand, due to locations, this may vary your price, but this right here that I'm holding, this costs $33.99. This is their lobster pappardelle pasta. And I'm gonna read you their description. Maine and Langostino lobster meat tossed with pappardelle pasta, asparagus, fresh tomatoes, and a savory garlic sauce. For anybody who may not know this, Langostino is not actually lobster. So I don't know how much Maine lobster is actually in here, but I do appreciate the transparency of saying that you didn't just use Maine lobster. You use Langostino as well. But again, for $33, that's Cheesecake Factory price ranges. And this is not what you would get if I went to the Cheesecake Factory. With that being said, I'm still going to be honest and try this. And I want you to tell me in the comment sections, do you think that this is worth $33.99? But let's try this out. Pappardelle are these really thick, flat, and fat noodles. It's also got some little cut asparagus, some tomato, and let's try this out. I know you are lying. Now, I want you to keep in mind that when I go into detail on this, I'm comparing this to chain restaurants, but in this case, all of them, because this costs $34. That is probably the worst pasta I've had from a chain in this price range, and let me tell you why. Yes, there are asparagus pieces in here, little cut pieces of asparagus. The pappardelle. Let me try one more. No. The cook on the pappardelle is al dente. It's really not bad as far as the cook goes. This lobster, I don't know how much that you get in here. It looks like a pretty decent amount, but again, to my amateur self, I don't know the difference between Langostino and Maine lobster enough to tell you what's what. The sauce on this, it says a savory garlic sauce. Let me just get one piece of this pepper. I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. No, there's no garlic in that. It doesn't taste. Calling this a garlic sauce would be a discredit to garlic. I don't taste any garlic. This just tastes like oil. Like just straight up oil and maybe a little bit of butter. And you can just see it's mainly just these flat pappardelle pasta noodles. It is literally flavorless. There's a little bit of lobster in here and a little bit of asparagus, but this is again, for $34, I wouldn't pay $15 for this. I've had better lobster meals from Friendly's, and that's saying something. That's just me being real. Out of 10, I would give this a 1. Like, complete rip-off and completely just not good at all. You rarely hear me talking like this, but I'm never going to mince words when it comes to franchises and just telling you constructively what you could fix about this. You could probably give people more pasta. You could probably make it taste better, and don't serve people Langostino lobster for lobster prices. That's my assessment on that. So next thing, this is another one of their new products. This is their bacon wrapped sea scallops. Now, I ordered this as an add-on. You can get this as a regular appetizer. 4 of these, so 1, 2, and 2 more, would cost you $15.99. 6 of these would cost you $20.49. I did the meal add-on, which cost me $8.49, and this is it. And the exact description for this is literally sea scallops wrapped in bacon. So they got that going for them, which is nice. Okay. Pretty much a bacon wrapped sea scallop. I mean, there's not much else to it, but in their defense, I don't think you really need anything else with a bacon wrapped sea scallop. The seafood should speak for itself. There's nothing else on it. The salty, savory bacon goes pretty well. The scallop isn't rubbery or chewy, and this isn't bad. It's overpriced as hell. But as far as me judging this based off of like flavor alone, like there's no way I would pay $20 for 6 of these. None. But either other than that, this is easily the best thing I've gotten. Judging this off taste alone, there's nothing special about it, but there's nothing bad about it either. I would give this a 5.5 out of 10. Like, they didn't really go out of their territory, and I'm okay with that. But, hey. And finally, this cost me $19. You can see by how they wrap this, they put the butter packet right in here, and it's melting, so I hope it didn't leak all in here. But I ordered a baked potato, and I asked for sour cream and butter on the side. They put it right into my thing of chicken. I asked for asparagus on the side. These are the chives that come in the baked potato, by the way. I asked for asparagus on the side. I guess they couldn't fit it, so they just lodged it in here because it has this thing in the middle, the median, and it just crushed my asparagus. And the baked potato is, it's not even cut. But this is their new Parmesan crusted chicken. And I know some of you are gonna say, why would someone go to Red Lobster and order chicken? Some people go to Red Lobster that don't like seafood, and I know some of you watch this video that don't like seafood. So I tried to get an option that wasn't seafood. It was either this or steak, and steak, it wasn't new. So we got Parmesan crusted chicken. So this is Parmesan crusted chicken breast topped with lemon herb sauce, fresh tomatoes, and basil. Again, the butter was in there. I hope it didn't like spill too much in the sauce, but the lemon herb sauce looks like it's actually more on this side. Let's try this chicken out. All right, so you got one chicken breast, $19. Very, very lemony. Like, it says Parmesan crusted chicken, but the main thing that I'm getting here is that lemon herb sauce. It's very strong lemon flavor. Again, I know because I had this in a heated container that this isn't going to be as crispy. Most of the time it does end up, but this, you know, is it panko crusted? Doesn't say. Parmesan crusted. This is okay. This is okay. The chicken breast isn't dry at all. There's a ton of lemon herb sauce on this. I know that some people might go into the restaurant and get this and be like turned off by it because Parmesan crusted chicken, unless you read the description, the main flavor you're getting is lemon. It overpowers the Parmesan and everything in it a lot. It says fresh tomatoes. I mean, they're in here, little pieces. And you got some basil. Again, this is something that when I'm comparing this to other places, this costs $18.99. I'm going to put this on the screen. If you watch my Longhorn Steakhouse video, the Parmesan crusted chicken from Longhorn Steakhouse costs $18.99. Which one would you rather get? I can't really put it any more bluntly than that. They also have a new grilled asparagus side, which is right here. They actually did a nice job on these. Nice and crispy. They're cooked well. Again, there's nothing special about it. Let me try this lemon herb sauce. That's cool with me. At all. I'm not going to bother with baked potato. I'm not. We got cheddar bay biscuits. If you're looking at this, again, you just go back to my Longhorn Steakhouse video and look at the Parmesan crusted chicken. That costs the exact same price. Or you can get a 12-ounce chicken breast instead of this 9-ounce for $20.99. You're much better off. Out of 10, again, this is very average. This is a 5 again, 5 out of 10. It's just, there's nothing that stands out about it compared to other chain restaurants. Just please understand the context because I'm not trying to seem harsh, but when I first opened this food, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That's the first thing I said. I wish I would have filmed my reaction. That's why I normally take it out of the bag. But I had it in this container and I wanted to make sure that they didn't mess my order up before I left because y'all know that'd be happening to me too much. But at least we got a cheddar bay biscuit. I hope they didn't change these because I will lose my mind. This is, everybody go to Red Lobster for this. If you're gonna go, don't get none of this stuff and just get you a big booty biscuit. Okay. No, hey, at least y'all didn't mess this up. At least y'all didn't mess this up. At least y'all didn't mess this up. Oh, I'd have been mad. But here's my honest assessment of Red Lobster. The reason that it looks like a ghost town when I went in the summer, and the reason that it looked like a ghost town again, is because whether I sat down in the restaurant or got this to go, there's no way in hell that I would pay $34 for this and feel satisfied. And I feel like you brought that on yourself. Chain restaurants are notoriously overpriced across the board, but everything that I've tried to say today has provided context to why people don't go there. Because people are still eating out. People might complain about the prices, but most of us still eat out. Longhorn Steakhouse is packed all the time. Texas Roadhouse is packed all the time. Want to get to another price point? This is where I live. Chili's and the Olive Garden are packed all the time. You serve seafood, so maybe it should cost a little bit more, but other places also serve seafood, and it is nothing like you get from this. I could go to almost any sit-down chain restaurant at a $34 price point and get something that is way better tasting than that for better value. I don't want to get into the details of things. You know, everybody knows more or less a lot of these places are now owned by these private equity companies. If you're interested, I talked about it in the last video, but there's an entire thing on what exactly happened to Red Lobster. It's a very long story, which I won't waste your time. If you aren't interested, there's information that's on the internet for it. But this is a prime example of a place that, you know, they're trying to stretch things, and they're trying to just make things look nice to, you know, create profits for their investors. And a place that I used to love, the last 2 times I went were absolute just nah. I saw the thing from the person that came in and saying that they're trying to fix things. Like, if this video ever makes it back to you because you're on social media, like, would you eat this? I bet you don't even eat this. I'm just being real. Big booty biscuits, and that's it. And you know, because you're owned by a private equity firm, you now can buy the mix for this and make it at home. Well, there's no reason to go to Red Lobster. If y'all are looking for a Chili's type comeback here, you're gonna have to change how you're doing things. I'm just gonna be real. And I know there's gonna be people in this video that are gonna give me like the whole, well, you ate it at home, and I eat almost everything at home. I'm comparing it to stuff that we're not even getting into that. Just know I tried. It's gonna be a long time unless I see something else that would make me. Look, I'll leave it up to y'all. If y'all want me to go back to Red Lobster and try more food, then y'all, you know, blow this video up. Meaning, like, if there's enough views on it, I'll go back. Please just understand that I never try to be negative, but I just have to be honest. Like, I'm still a consumer. This sucks. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, this sucks. Now that I feel like I just lit like almost $100 on fire, let's talk a little bit. I want to present you with just something. I don't want anybody to take this like I'm talking to you as an individual. This is me talking to the masses, just as a, like, take a look at this. I always am talking about something, and you'll see me use it maybe in the comment section or even in my videos where I talk about critical thinking. So I'm going to present to you a definition of critical thinking. I'm going to take these right off the internet because maybe they can explain things better than me. Critical thinking is a kind of thinking in which you question, analyze, interpret, evaluate, and make a judgment about what you read, hear, say, or write. More or less, I think that people have an issue now, and the internet has very much accelerated the process, where a lot of people get themselves into trouble because they don't critically think. A lot of times when there's a problem, critical thinking can help you solve those problems. And I don't think enough people are doing it. They're doing what's called a knee-jerk reaction. And knee-jerk reaction is a phrase that comes from, you know, those doctors when they had that reflex thing and it hit you on the knee and your knee just went straight up. A knee-jerk reaction is involuntary. It's something that you do almost immediately without thinking. And this is something that I've tried to do with myself for a while, and I'm not perfect at this, but taking a second to think before you actually like react to something will save you from a lot of issues. And I think even in comment sections, sometimes people will say things by just making a knee-jerk reaction instead of asking themselves why something is happening. And I've found as I've gotten older that asking myself why got me out of a lot of issues that I would cause for myself, very self-inflicted problems that I would do because it was a knee-jerk reaction. And I just ask you to ask yourself this: are you a critical thinking person, or are you a person who makes knee-jerk reactions to things? You don't have to put it in the comments. Just ask yourself what kind of a person you are and what kind of people are around you. I have people around me that will call me out or check me if they feel like I'm making knee-jerk reactions, and they'll slow me down, like slow myself down, and I slow them down in the same way. I don't think slowing people down on the internet is the smartest thing. So I'm not going to slow you down because I don't know any of you. I know you guys know me to a sense, but you know, you don't know enough of my entire life to know me. You know this. So, you know, I will take more into consideration if one of my best friends or family says, hey, you're doing this, over someone that I don't know on the internet. Just buy a normal thing. But just ask yourself that question. Just ask yourself if you are a person who critically thinks about things, tries to understand where other people are coming from and how they got there, or are you a person that just looks at someone, does something different than you, and says, that's dumb. Why would you do that? And then maybe consider why they did that. Not just saying it rhetorically, but like trying to figure out why they would. Again, I'm not a perfect person and I make mistakes all the time. These are things that I try to apply to my own self, and I think I've gotten better at over the years. And I just wanted to present that to you. You can take the information, do whatever you think about it. I love critical thinking conversations where people try to go, okay, I can see how you got there. You know what I'm saying? Those are conversations that I have with my friends and family. And I'd love to have those conversations with you, but I just don't think we're there yet as a society. That's me to end of the video. I'm going to save this baked potato at the very least. But man, I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you. But we'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. The hand signs, they made it to YouTube.